It's volcanoes. The climate has always changed. We're not warming, we're cooling. The scientists are just in it for the money. CO2 isn't pollution. Plants love it. It's a scam to steal your money. ClimateGate. Al Gore. It's not us. Almost every day on social media and across the web, I see these arguments against climate change. It kind of boggles my mind because climate change seems pretty obvious to me, just based on common sense. Humans are adding billions of tons of CO2 to the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels, billions of tons of methane from animal agriculture and oil field production, and cutting down billions of trees every year. That's billions, and it's been going on for the past few decades. These aren't small-scale actions, and if you understand how greenhouse gases work, you have to ask yourself, how could we not be making changes? But there is a real and vocal segment of the population who don't even believe that the climate is changing, let alone humans changing it. The American president has said publicly he thinks it's a Chinese hoax caused to destroy American manufacturing. Here in Alberta, about 46% of the population doesn't believe in human-caused climate change, and the average in Canada is about 39%. So how can this be when governments and scientists all around the world are telling us that it's so? Because there's enough people saying that it isn't us, and people tend to not want to believe that it's their fault. They also don't want to contemplate the consequences. Some of the people who are saying that it's not us are actually the ones that are causing it. Both Exxon and Shell knew many years ago when their own scientists came to them and said that the burning of their product would release CO2 into the atmosphere and that would cause climate change. So they did what any good corporation does to protect shareholders when there's a threat to their profit: create a misinformation campaign. They planted the seeds of doubt, just like the tobacco companies did when scientists told them that their product was going to cause cancer. Now, with those seeds of doubt firmly in place, they've created a whole segment of the population who will go to bat against science and against common sense when it comes to climate change, even to the point of calling climate scientists crooked and just in it for the money. I wonder who has more money, the CEOs of Exxon and Shell, or some guys working in a lab. What about the other seeds? Well, humans actually cause 100 times more CO2 emissions than volcanoes. And yes, the climate has changed before, but that doesn't mean that we still can't cause climate change. In fact, the planet should be cooling slowly, not warming very quickly. And yes, plants do love CO2, and there has been an observed greening effect, but they don't think that there's going to be enough CO2 absorbed to make a difference. And with the effects of climate change, like drought, warmer temperatures, and invasive species, the greening effect could be negated. Believe me, all these other reasons for global warming have been looked into. Why wouldn't they have been? If a scientist or a team of scientists could come up with an alternative reason for why the planet is warming, don't you think they would have? They'd be heroes. Then they'd really be in the money. So if you still don't believe in man-made climate change or that the planet is even warming, I challenge you to do a couple of things. Ask yourself why you don't believe in human-caused climate change. Is it because a politician has said so? Or is it because you just don't trust governments in general? Is it because it's just such a scary thought you don't want to acknowledge it? Or is it because you work for an industry that causes climate change and you don't want to be part of the problem? Believe me, we're all part of the problem. Even a sometimes tofu eating, sometimes showering, often walking hippie like me. The next challenge is move out of your comfort zone when it comes to getting information about climate change and other scientific data. If you only listen to people who have the same opinion as you, there's a pretty good chance that you're not getting all the information or even not the right information. There are some good sources of unbiased information out there. One that I would highly recommend is skepticalscience.com. It's like a clearinghouse website of all kinds of peer-reviewed scientific studies from all different kinds of sources. They also have a really great online course that teaches you how to recognize climate denial and how to argue against the common myths that are often thrown up against climate change. I'd also recommend the NASA website, climate.nasa.gov. It has a lot of really clear information, lots of frequently asked questions, and the content is laid out so it's easy to understand and is interactive too. There's even a page for kids learning. The last thing I'd like to recommend is whenever you're reading an article about climate change or any other scientific studies, make sure that there's citations and references, just like you would if you're making a report. Then you know that you're getting information that has actually been through peer review and is more reliable. So I hope you learned a little bit today about some of the reasons that people think climate change isn't being caused by humans. And if you still think that we aren't the cause of climate change, I'd really like to know why. Why don't you leave a comment down below? I'd really like to see it. But be nice, I'm not going to feed any trolls. Thanks for watching Bottom of the Box. It would be great if you could subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you know when we post a new video. You can also find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Artemis Media CA. If you're interested in supporting us financially, you can check out our Patreon page. You'll have access to live videos, behind-the-scenes footage, and whatever kind of fun stuff I come up with. And for more information, check out artemismedia.ca. That's where we'll have information about projects, upcoming videos, past videos, and our blog. All the links are in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.